Welcome everyone to another card discussion video about Legacy of the Valiant. Today's video will be about the Gorgonic archetype that has just started.
Alright, and our first card we're talking about is Gorgonic Golem. It is Dark Rock, level 3. It's got 1200 attack and 600 defense. And its effect is when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, attack of the monster that destroyed it becomes 0. Then you can banish this card from your graveyard, target a set spell or trap card your opponent controls, and that target cannot be activated that turn, and they can't activate it in response either.
So it's sort of a pseudo, Zing Zang Hu, or maybe a
Trap
stun,
things like that.
For one card, or a Fire Formation Gyoku, but only for a turn. But it's still very useful. Of course, you're gonna want to banish it when you're going in for those attacks, of course. But its effect to change a monster's attack to 0 is kind of what's important to the archetype.
Since their main boss monster, Gorgonic Guardian, can just destroy monsters that have 0 attack, so it's a good revenge play. The nice thing is that since it is a rock monster, you can ditch it to the graveyard pretty easily with cards like Catapult Zone and Rock Bombardment. So if you want to use that second effect, it's pretty easy to set up.
Yeah, and you can set up multiple. It has no restrictions as far as using multiple in the same turn. So you could banish multiple of these cards and target several of your opponent's spells and traps if you're trying to go in for like a game kill or like a big destruction play.
The nice thing is since it does function with the 0 attack whole thing, it does work well with the reptilian archetype as well. So you have that there. It's a good tech card for them.
Yeah, these two archetypes kind of mesh pretty well together. I'm honestly not sure why they made a second archetype like this. Do you know the reason on that one?
Not really. I mean, it was just kind of an introduction in the anime. It's Gorgonics as opposed to Reptilians. So same kind of ideal. Well, I mean, obviously the big difference is that these are rocks and the Reptilians were reptiles.
I mean, you have what the Gorgons or whatever the sort of the myth where you turn somebody into stone, right? So like that makes it so they have 0 attack, which sort of makes sense. But what's the whole thing behind Reptilians then? I mean, I guess that's sort of Medusa, snake in the hair type of thing, I guess, maybe, but
yeah, the two archetypes' basis is very similar to each other. They do function a little bit differently, but it's a lot of the same. At least in terms of this card and the boss monster. The other 3 Gorgonics don't really mainly function towards summoning the boss monster as opposed to actually helping that aspect of it.
Yeah. And the first of those being Gorgonic Gargoyle, which is a level 3 dark rock type monster as well, and it has the effect when you normal summon a rock monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So if you want to normal summon any of the other Gorgonic monsters, or any other rock type monster for that matter, you can special summon this card for your hand and likely go into your Gorgonic Guardian.
That's the main nice thing about it, is it's a very easy Gorgonic Guardian, or any rank 3 for that matter. So it's a special summonable rock type, which is really nice.
Yeah, so if you normal summon any rock type monster, you'll be able to special summon this. Let's see, what's some good earth rock monsters that are level 3? I mean, you could normal summon your Black Guardian and special summon this card, but Black Guardian only works with... Does that only work with level 4s, or is it just earth rock monsters?
Just earth monsters. It doesn't function all that well with that.
Yeah.
So it specifies earth.
And that's kind of unfortunate that these are not earth and they're dark instead, but I guess the darkness sort of makes sense.
Yeah. The next one we have is Gorgonic Ghoul. It's a dark rock. This one's level 1 with 100 attack and 100 defense, and it's more of the special summonable guy, because if you control a Gorgonic Ghoul, you can pay 300 life points and special summon it from your hand. You can only use that effect up to twice per turn, because that you're going to use it more because you have more than 2 in your hand if you have 1 on the field.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you normal summon one, you can special summon the other two from your hand.
Well, I suppose if you were using them when they were on their field and you got them back to your hand somehow and could just keep resummoning them. But the nice thing, at the very least, since it is level 1, you can easily special summon it straight out of the deck with 1-for-1.
That is true.
So that's an easy way to get one out if you just have one in your hand.
Yeah, unfortunately, this card does not work very well with the the boss monster specifically, since it kind of works with 0 attack monsters, and this can't really get it out.
Unless, of course, you're using the next card we're going to talk about, but that's a different story. Yeah, that's about Gorgonic Ghoul. It's a level 1 monster that's special summonable if you have more than one copy. So that may or may not be versatile enough. At the very least, you can special summon out of the deck with 1-for-1. So that's one of the upsides.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, it can be used for a rank 1 play. If you happen to have one in your hand and you special summon another one with 1-for-1, then you could summon a rank 1 with this card. But likely you're going to want to try to use it with the next card, which is Gorgonics Cerberus, which is a level 3 dark rock type monster with the effect that when this card is normal summoned, you can make all rock type monsters you control become level 3.
So that not only works really well with Ghoul, because it would make any of the special summon ones you have level 3, but it also makes for you can combine it with any other rock type to summon Gorgonic Guardian or Giant Soldier of Steel.
Yeah, it also works pretty well with Gorgonic Gargoyle, since if you normal summon any rock type monster, you can special summon the Gargoyle, and then if you happen to also normal summon Cerberus, then that maybe potentially different leveled rock type monster also becomes a level 3.
I need to do like 3 level 3 rank 3 monsters that require 3 level 3s.
Yeah.
So Cerberus is mainly your level augmenter for the Gorgonics. Lets you summon Guardian using anything else, even non-Gorgonic monsters. So
yeah, I would say that the Gorgonics work well for sort of summoning the boss monster, but you're going to need some additional support for bringing other monsters to 0. Since Gorgonic Guardian, the boss monster, is a rank 3 dark rock Xyz monster that has the effect, once per turn during the player's turn, you can detach an Xyz material from this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, and its attack becomes 0. And if it does, its effects are negated. And these effects last till the end of the turn, and once per turn you can target one monster on the field with 0 attack and destroy it. And it does require 2 level 3 rock-type monsters to summon it. But that effect to destroy monsters with 0 attack once per turn, that's sort of the reason why you're going to want some additional support, perhaps from the reptilian monsters, when using this card.
Because otherwise, Guardian itself can get rid of 2 monsters with its effect. But if you have other cards that are dropping your opponent's monsters to 0, you can keep using the destruction effect, because that's just a once per turn, has nothing to do with its materials. Sadly, it's a fairly weak monster at only 1600 attack, but it's got a very powerful effect.
Yeah.
Because it's effectively, you target a monster, negate its effects, and then destroy it.
We did just talk about a card in Premium Pack 16 that would work well with this card, Ghost of a Grudge, I believe it is. If your opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, the attack of each of your opponent's monsters becomes 0. So you can use that to easily destroy some of your opponent's monsters in combination with Gorgonic Guardian.
So basically, Gorgonic Guardian is one of those monsters where its stats are very weak in exchange for it having a really powerful effect.
Yeah, so you're going to be able to detach a material and make an opponent's monster's attack 0 and negate its effects in order to destroy it, but you're only going to be able to do that twice. So, like I said, you're going to probably want some additional support from like Reptilians or maybe Ghosts of Grudge or other attack modulation cards to make their attack 0. But I guess that is it for the Gorgonic archetype in Legacy of the Valiant. I hope you enjoyed, and you'll leave a comment below on what you thought about these cards, and we'll bring you some more Legacy of the Valiant soon.